Where do you chat? Let's see how this thing. It's always different every time you go in there. It's weird. How do I find the chats now? Chats. Ah, there we have it. Grand. Let's wait and see if anybody's going to join us. Wake the lion. Aloha. Anybody out there? Anybody? Going once, going twice. Sold to Katarina again. Love you, Kat. Nice to see you. What did I do? So I'm going to start with the Pono, if you would like to join me. Oh, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Mama! Mama is everywhere. The queen of all atoms, prime source creator, our divine host, our blessed, beautiful, brilliant Mama. You just keep shining brighter and brighter every day. Oops. So I know it's not morning, but I'm going to do the God morning gratitude prayer anyway because I love it so much. It's morning somewhere, and someone will appreciate it. So here we go, the God morning gratitude prayer, which we have on our mirror. So every morning when we wake up, it's the first thing we see, and then we do our God morning gratitude prayer. It's time. God morning, love, all of the angels and all of creation. Thank you for the many blessings and love surprises today as I walk in love with my every thought and my every action. Thank you for the many miracles and synchronistic events which are lighting up my life with overflowing joy. Thank you for the laughter today during the aha moments as I remember more of the love that I am and share this with others. Thank you for all this energy of love and oneness pouring into the planet and through me, activating all which is dormant so I may serve in the wholeness of love. Thank you for the increased visions of love, which is assisting in the manifestation of the new earth where only love exists. I am honored, I am worthy of all love is, and I thank love this day for this realization in my life. Thank you, love. Thank you, angels. I am here, I am present, and I am ready to be who I really am and to live my life in love. It is time. Dreams of love do come true. Yippee! Get it, mama. So how y'all feeling out there? What's cracking? What's good? What's good? What's good news? Knowing that only beings on here would only be focused on the positive. You know that, right? So tell me what's good. Aloha, Penny. Love you. What's good? How are y'all feeling? How are you falling in love with yourself in this beautiful ascension process? Boom, and so it is. Get it, Brendan. Bang on. Love you, Babs. Yeah, the energies are amping up every day. It's super brilliant. The 7 is about mystery and spiritual enhancement, spiritual upgrade, spiritual development. Miracles are indeed happening all over the place in every moment. This is prophesied, it's been written about in all the scriptures in many different ways, different forms, different secret codes. But the bottom line is we are in a great ascension process. We are bringing heaven to earth. Their fear, pain, and suffering has been dissolved, and we are returning to love everywhere present, oneness, trueness, wholeness, pureness, and it's all been done already, really, and we are just going through the process. So don't get caught up in time. Just be present and enjoy the process, enjoy the flow, feeling flow state of the heart again. I'm so grateful to be in Mom's higher heart again on this 7-11 Sunday. Yes, yes, and it's a Sunday, and it's a big flip because the 7-11, the concept of 7-11 represents convenience, and it's convenience that really throws us off course big time. And so that's what they do. The Vedanta talks about how, science is always developing the object, but no work is done on the subject. And I often say, you can go and plant 1,000,000 trees, but if you plant it with the same consciousness that destroyed it, you're just going to destroy it again, So everything's an internal job. Everything's about recognizing that we are all connected. Everything is one. And I was listening to the Tao on my walk this morning, and it says the master doesn't waste an opportunity. In every moment you have an opportunity to grow. And where was I? Oh yeah, and every moment you have an opportunity to grow. And it says there that a good man is a bad man's teacher, and a bad man is a good man's job. And if you don't understand that, no matter how smart you are, you're going to get lost. So instead of putting people down or trying to stand on top of people, stand on top of other people's shoulders, we're all going to stand together. We're only as strong as our weakest link, and everybody is a reflection. So it's really about forgiveness, deep forgiveness, and that obviously includes yourself. It starts with yourself. You've got to forgive yourself for, all of the mistakes you think you've made, and all of that blame and all of that guilt. And a lot of it's collective. There's a lot of really dense collective energy floating around at the moment. It just, in the collective consciousness. So we all, it's affecting all of us. But at the same time, the way I see it, it's very important not to get caught up in victim consciousness. Not to get caught up in thinking, oh yeah, I've got to do this for humanity, or I've got to put up with these people's stuff. It's at the end of the day, it's a gift. It's an honor to have the ability to transform energy, and it's just energy. It's not like daggers or putting a rope around your head. Death is not real. It's just energy, and you have the power and ability to transform energy. That's why we're here, to transform all of our debris that we left over from previous lifetimes and destructive ascension attempts. So there's a lot of collective energy that needs to be transformed, and you get an opportunity to open your heart in every moment. That's how you transform energy. You open your heart and you let the love in your heart transform it organically, instead of avoiding it or hiding from it. Because Mama's not here to do all the work anymore. We got to do our own work. We've got to step up, stand up, and step into the crowd. Step into the crowd and stand your ground and speak your truth, and rather influence people. There's a lot of people out there. When you go to shops and stuff, that are already unconscious, and you might say something to 10 of them, and 9 of them kind of are totally unconscious and look at you like you're crazy, but you might make a difference to one person. I've spoken to many people just walking past them, and I say, what's that fucking stupid thing on your face? And then they laugh, they laugh, and then they take it off, and I say, don't burn that thing, because a lot of people just want permission. They're scared, and it's just about speaking the truth in every moment. Like Mom said, when you call people out, or even when you're disciplining, the children, it's not do it once in a while, because the programming, the habitual programming is so deep. So it has to be constant. The ego hates consistency, And if you only do something once in a while, then it never gets, you never get to that level of embodiment. It's got to be consistent, and it's got to be from the heart. So I am going to start with the divine decrees. Dun, dun, dun. And the seven's also very much about Burban, you're the bullshit. You betrayed God. What did this clown say? Let me read it. Bun, buri, blay, nus. Oh, that's an interesting algorithmic name you got set up there. I see what you're doing there. You're trying to put fire there. Bullshit. You betrayed God, and people are paying for it and for your sins. Cowards, you told Father to fuck off, and then you put this guy telling us to love. What a bunch of BS. Oh, Buri Blay. Oh my goodness. Maybe take a breath. Let's take a breath together. Oh, breath for Buri Blay. I see the light above your head, Buri Blay, and I fill it with colors, and I fill it with the rainbow colors of the aura, and I send it through your body and into your heart, and we put you back in the flow of the Taurus. How does that feel, Buri Blay? Does that feel good? It's like a woosa for your heart. Woosa. Woosa. You're feeling better, Buri Blay? Buri Blay nush. Anyway, moving on swiftly. Don't hate, celebrate great. Must have blocked him, I cannot. Yep, you probably did. Cowards of elite fake fascism collaborate. Jesus, bro. What school did you go to, man? What else has he got you? Our parents hate us for fighting for you. Jesus, what planet are you on? Wow. All right, well, good luck, mate. Good luck with that. I can't even comprehend your people babble over there. Fascinating, entertaining, nonetheless. Maybe the divine decrees will assist you. You don't have ascendance over Father God. And to tell what God says. God is a word. I would love to know your concept of God, Buible. Please share with us. Enlighten us with your majesty, dear son. Enlighten us. I'll read the true divine decrees while you let your mind play little word games with itself and then talk to yourself as if you're talking to us. It's fascinating watching. Watch out, your ego glitching on this. I thought you said ego glitch on sale. Glitching on L4. That's exactly where it is, glitching on L4. Love is not elitism. Oh, you got lots of words there, but I don't feel anything coming from your heart. Do you know how to open your heart, Buri Blay? And do you know how to put your real name? Do you know how to be transparent, maybe? That would be a nice start. The divine decrees of the new earth equals heart by Mother Buri Blay of all creation. We all play a role bringing these decrees into physical manifestation. We are all a part of the co-creation of the new earth. Even you, Buri Blay, even you're a part of the co-creation of the new earth. A new earth and a new heaven are upon us. Join us here, build it, and they will come. Love from the Galactic Federation of Light, the company of heaven from Galactic Central. We are your real and true family of light. We are the Elohim, your family from the stars, the celestial ones, your earth allies. Here representing the love, light, and the highest truths on planet Earth equals heart on your behalf, Buri Blay, to assist you out of the millennium moments of chains that have been holding you down from the very truth of who you are. You have been set free. Now it is up to all of you to recognize that you truly are free, and then to set your brothers and sisters free by standing in the truth of the love that you are. We are the ground crew for First Contact. We are here to welcome you home out of duality and into the true reality of planet Earth equals heart, the kingdom of heaven on earth manifested. Thank you for recognizing your divinity, honoring and respecting the truth of who you are, as you honor and respect the truth of who we are as part of you. On February 14, 2009, the divine decrees were born to jumpstart the energy of divine intervention into manifestation. Now, in the year 2021, we have a window of opportunity to physically manifest these. We are the ones we have been waiting for, not some man in the sky. The decrees from the kingdom of heaven now manifest on planet Earth equals heart, the true reality on this planet. Love has won, because we are all one, and love is all there is. No more false evidence appearing real. All of our decrees are heard across the universes and all galaxies, as well as to the starships, which are surrounding planet Earth equals heart. And they are assisting us in energy with responding immediately in assisting us in these manifestations. The following decrees are in manifestation to be read aloud and decreed by Mother God. Aloha, Lucy. 1. As decreed, the dissolving of the programmed ego mind, which caused illusionary pain and suffering for humanity, is now unfolding. What this means is that it's wake-up time for humanity. The old illusionary ego is out. The new foundation of the new earth, heaven on earth, Garden of Eden, only unconditional love and oneness has been firmly established within this decree. And truth, only love, beings in harmony and balance can be here on planet Earth as decreed. All egos out, removed, dissolved from the incoming energies of pure love. The old illusionary ego is out and there's no going back from here, nor is there any way to stop this. Stay centered, grounded, choose love, remain in pure thought, be present, and show up. We are the ones we have been waiting for. You sounded a lot like Sasquatch. Yes, I like that. That's a good one. Sasquatch it is. You imply, is this clan still? Please insult me, Li Chi Cheng. This is brilliant. I love it. You're so cowards that you block consented people and tell lies for them to express why you're wrong. Fake as you being betraying father, twin, do, or witchery, you like karma will go to you. Oh, you obviously don't know what karma is, sweetheart. So bless you for that anyway. And we block people so that they don't tell us that, to tell them live for them to express why you're wrong. So we block people so they can't tell us why we're wrong. That's interesting. Interesting. I'd love to know your idea of karma, Cosmo, Genesis, Triple. Yeah, you do that 777. You give that 777 a bad name. Yeah, I would change that. Please insult me. That's so funny. No, I got nothing there. Your energy looks cool, bro. You so fake. B team. Oh, really? Oh my goodness gracious. B team traitors. Oh my God. Jeez, if that's not ego, I don't know what is. Are you gonna throw that ego in here the whole time, or do I just gotta like chuck you off? God, I definitely wouldn't be copying you, sunshine. Later, alligator. See ya. Wouldn't want to be here. Moving on swiftly. 2. Cut cords with everyone and everything. Reattach cords with everything that's real, whole, pure, true, and resonance with Mama's love. Brilliant. It needs a good deflating. Well, let's see. Liu Chi Cheng. 12, 21, 42, 24, 33, 11, 16, 30, 42, 33, 30, 63. Yeah, well, you created a nice name there. My ego has grown far too large. Yeah, well, that's okay. We're looking for balance. So bring your fat ego in here, let it have some fun, and create whatever karma you like, good or bad, your choice. But welcome. Let's see. Decree 2. Everyone is to awaken, and so it is in the kingdom of heaven, so now it is on earth. The time is now to embrace, allow, and trust our presence on this planet. The quicker the highest truths become known and understood, the quicker the changes will occur for the highest benefit of the all. You cannot change the events that are about to occur. They are inevitable. You can accept this now and be joyful, or later. Either way, all highest truths are inevitable outcomes now. Now, why would I insult you, Li Chi Cheng, and give myself karma? It's kind of pointless because you're a mirror for me. So for me to insult you is for me to insult myself. But that's a nice little entrapment slice you came with there. I like it. It's slick. It kind of fits in with the numbers in your name. Good one, bro. Good one. I like it. 3. As decreed, humanity, the moment has come to unite into all love is. We are grounding forever the energy of balanced harmonics into physical manifestation. Engage your twin flame connections and fill these connections with the reality of pure love, thus dissolving all discordant energy or fantasies carried from the density of illusion. Reunions and process engage now to balance out these last dramas. Yes, it is intense today, Laura. 22:22 you posted that. It's intense, but at the same time it's exciting because the more intense it gets, the more you can feel the change, the more you can feel the shift. And when you're in the heart, and when you connect to mom, then that's all good. That's all positive. That's all kind of destruction before expansion, restructuring of our DNA, restructuring of the whole system. The overlying frequency of the planet. The planet is now in 5D, so we basically playing catch up, just going through the process. And yeah, man, it's all done. It's just brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. 4. As decreed and granted, the consciousness on the planet has entered completely into the unified field of all love is. The pathway home for humanity is brightly lit up as love, source, creation, fills all holes or gaps of unconsciousness with light, unconditional love and truth, transforming all into the light of truth. And so it is in heavens, as now manifest on planet Earth equals heart. Heart, as the Aussies say, heart, heart. 5. As decreed, humanity's presence has been requested within love from the kingdom of heaven, and as heaven's decree in the manifest to set humanity free. Second set of divine decrees. Decree 1. All hostilities against your brothers and sisters must stop now. No more killing of our children. Decreed, and so it is on earth as it is in heaven. Decree 2. All of the religions on this planet that have taken from the people and lied to the people, whom they have deceived, then provide them with the real truth, which will be an oh my goddess event. And so it is done and granted. B team. Oh man, B team. Yeah, for sure. They must all take cold showers. Decree 3. All corporations being illegal, non-existent entities will be dissolved immediately. Yay! There's Brother Eagle. Love you, bro. Where you at? I haven't seen you in a while. All corporations being illegal, non-existent entities will be dissolved immediately. Love is all that exists on planet Earth equals heart, where we are all equal. Cooperations will be installed in their place, effective immediately. This is when the sorrow will be released to the people, and so it is on earth as it is in heaven, and so it is decreed and granted. Decree 4. No longer will the resources of this planet be exploited to feather the nests of the ignorant. Ignorant means ignoring love. All the resources on this planet are now to be returned to the people. So it is on earth as it is in heaven, and so it is decreed and granted. Oh, decreed and granted. So the 7 is the 7's really going deep into your core, deep into your cellular memory, and bringing up a lot of really ancient, dormant pockets of unconsciousness that need to be transformed. And because, a lot of the stuff is ancestral, it's really, really deep in your roots. And so a lot of it's not recognizable from like a linear perspective, but you can feel something's there, even though, like somebody can call you out on it and you can't quite see it, and you say, oh, no, that's not me. But in these moments, what I've found from my personal experiences, just look deeper. Always look deeper. There's always something more to transform. There's always something else to look at. So instead of pointing fingers, always go internally and ask yourself, what is it showing me? Because there are no others essentially, and everything is a test. We are in training. You've been preparing for this for eons. This is you didn't just wake up 2 years ago or 6 months ago or 5 years ago or whatever the case is. You've been preparing this for a long time, and you might have kind of just become more aware, on a kind of 3D perspective. But your soul knows why you're here, and all you've got to do is get out the way and start to listen. Pay more attention. Humanity is not very good at listening. Everybody's listening with the intent to react and to share their story. Everybody's got a story, and everybody wants to share it. And when you're sharing your story, you're talking to yourself anyway. So you're not learning anything new. And most of the time, people aren't listening to what they're saying anyway. Everyone's got advice for everybody else, but nobody's actually paying attention to their own words. If we all just listen to our own words, we'd solve all the problems. Because that's where all the answers are. The questions are the answers, but you've got to ask the questions, and then you've got to slow down and listen and pay attention. And that's what the Aquarian age is all about. The 1111, it's all about slowing down and receiving, being an open vessel, being open, opening your heart, and paying attention to the details, really being present with all your actions, and being present in your choices and your decision making. Having that pause before you kind of react out of robotic tendency. Like we've got so many auto responses to certain subjects or certain kind of words, or whatever the case is, and there's a lot of auto response out there where you don't actually feel into it, because it might be 10 people all telling you the same thing, but they're telling you from a different perspective. They're telling you from a different level of consciousness. So it's the same as reading a book. Every time you read the book, if it's a really good book, especially a spiritual book, the more you read it, the deeper you go, the more angles it shows you. The more kind of little nuggets you get from the most simple phrases, because the magic is in the simplicity. And because we've been so programmed and conditioned, we largely bypass simplicity, like the daily spiritual disciplines. They're so easy. A 5-year-old can do them, and they'll transform your life completely within a week and a month at the most. But because they're so simple, people bypass them. They've got more important things to do. They're still chasing after money and security, which that blows my mind, man. In these moments, after preparing yourself for so long to get to these moments, and running around throwing stones at other people and blaming other people and expending all your energy on words, on fruitless words that you don't even pay attention to yourself. That's all energy. It's all energy. Every single time you have a thought or you have a word or an action, you're expending energy. Are you using it in the highest? Are you asking your angels? Are you taking a breath or a pause before you just head off to the next activity? Just go, go, go. The masculine energy, that force, always forcing things. Got to force it to happen. Got to make it happen. And that's the art of the feminine energy. The unseen. It's learning to surrender. It's learning to be patient and wait for that guidance. Wait for that insight or that intuition. Wait for the magic to come through. Because it's not about what you can do. It's about allowing God to do through you, energy, God, love, whatever you want to call it, to work through you. We are just here to be empty vessels. We are here to be conduits for source to flow through us. That's our job. And our gift is that we get to experience God in action, love in action. That feeling, that unconditional love, that's the gift. The whole point of the ascension process and essentially the spiritual journey is, the whole point of self-realization is to realize there is no self. We've got to let go of our sense of identity, because our sense of identity is your ego. Your ego is the identity. It's a fake identity. It's a point of reference in order to be separate from the whole. And so we've got to let go of that sense of self. And the easiest way to do that is to be in service. The more you're in service, the more you in breathing, the more you love in action, the more you focused on gratitude, all of your problems disappear. All of your low robotic tendencies disappear, because it's really simple. Everything's energy, and consciousness and unconsciousness cannot exist simultaneously. So the more you consciously and put a concerted effort and prioritize, choosing your heart and not entertaining the babble of the mind, the more you choose the heart, the more you shift that momentum, the more you transfer and transform and transmute all of that residual kind of density, that we've been gaining over the years for thousands of years of repeated slavery and just kind of copy paste whatever our parents teach us. And that doesn't really work when you're in a virus. You're basically on a virus planet, where all of the negativity is just duplicated in a binary system. So we're here to flip all of that. Most of us are black sheep or black ducks or black pigs or whatever they call us. But it's because we've got to trigger people out of those robotic tendencies, out of that cling for security, because security is the opposite of freedom. If you're still worried about security and not being able to pay the rent and getting kicked out of your home and like all of these things, if you're still focused on security, you're missing the point. You've forgotten what faith is. You've forgotten what love is. Because when you fully surrender and you dive all in and you say, bring me whatever's in the highest for the good of all, love has got your back, man. Love will look after you in every possible way. But the key thing here is love is nothing like we think. Love is not what we were taught. We were taught a linear conditional love. As long as people fit into your little prison box, your little decorated prison box, as long as they fit into your paradigm, your concepts, your beliefs, as long as they fit into your comfort zones, then they're cool. But as soon as they step out of your comfort zone, then they must move on. So, a lot of us are here to kind of push those buttons, And when people come into your space and they push your buttons, it's because they're contracted to push your buttons. They've got the triggers. They know how to push your buttons. And it's not about avoiding them. It's not about fighting them or battling them or trying to come out on top or being right. It's about recognizing, this person's got triggers for me. They know how to push my buttons. Let me use this to my advantage and recognize what the lesson is here. Because if you don't learn the lesson and you move on, you're just going to find somebody else with a different face that's going to teach you the same shit. There's no more bouncing around and avoiding and going relationship to relationship and, kind of bypassing your responsibility for how you feel. There's a great story I heard a while back that I like to share once in a while. Actually, I think I shared it on the live not so long ago, but I like it. So this guy moves into a new town, and he's busy setting up his house, and he finally finishes late in the afternoon, and he kind of settles down on the porch, and he's chilling there outside, and staring at the stars and enjoying his new neighborhood. And then next moment, this dog starts howling next door. Ow! Ow! So he's going to go over and say something, and he thinks, no, the dog will stop eventually, and then the dog carries on all night. Ow! So he leaves it, and he manages to fall asleep, and then the next day, he goes about his thing, and that night, truth Bob, there's the dog again howling. Ow! So he thinks maybe it's just a pattern. So he goes to the guy the next day, his neighbor, and he asks his neighbor, "Hey man, what's up with your dog? I hear he's singing all night long." He says, "No, he's got this nail that he sits on, that's stuck to him, and he sits on this nail all the time at night, and he howls." And the guy says, "Well, why didn't you take the nail out of his bum?" He says, "No, it's not deep enough." And that's humanity. They're howling, oh, disclosure, oh, Trump, oh, Nasara, oh, where is it? But the nail's not deep enough for them to do the inner work so that they no longer need it. When you no longer need it is when it comes. When it's no longer an attachment and a dependency, that's when it comes. You intend and surrender. If you love something, let it go. It comes to you. As long as everybody's got that fearful energy, like, oh, we need something to save us, then it's just slowing down the process. But when you just let it go and you just focus on yourself and you recognize that, the universe is inside you, man, you can never get bored. There's just so much to learn about you, about life, about energy. It's just, and it's only going to get deeper and deeper. With this, the present moment is eternal. Now, this moment is all that exists, and it's eternal. There's no going back. There's no going back to normal. There's no past. The past doesn't exist. If you want to argue with me, take me there now. The past doesn't exist. The future doesn't exist. If you want to argue, take me there now. There is only the present moment of now, and all of those timelines are being collapsed, and we're returning into oneness, into nowness. And so that's why you've got to fall in love with yourself, because if you can't stand up for yourself and stand up for truth and stand up for love down here in the smallest little, sparkle of the universe, how are you going to do it when the veils is all lifted and we connected to the omniverse and the multiverse of everything? It's fundamentally important to really connect and prioritize connecting with your God self and your higher self, and really nurturing your inner child and, respecting and appreciating your inner child the way you would any other child. It's not negotiable. It's the only way through the ascension process. I saw a quote that came up recently saying, the longest journey you will ever make is the journey from your head to your heart. And that's exactly what the ascension process is all about. If anybody wants to know, hey, what's this all about? It's simple. It's a shift from your head to your heart. That's it. That's it. That's all you got to do. And in order to do that, all you've got to do is let go. Let go of everything you've been taught since the day you're born. Let go of all of your prerequisites and your likes and your dislikes and your conditioned behavior. Let it all go and take each moment as it is with no criteria. Enjoy the journey. Don't think that you need to achieve something and it needs to look like something at the end. That's not how it works. You just look after yourself and you embody love, and the rest is organic. The rest is a process that flows naturally with divine will. So it's really simple. Everything's really, really simple. And as long as you're doing your spiritual disciplines, you'll be able to stay centered there. So if anybody's interested, I'm going to ask Aurora to also put it up on the website. But I'm doing group numerology and family numerology. Anybody wants to do relationship numerology as well, I'm going to see if I can get in. I don't know what's the deal with the corporates. I'm pretty sure corporates are going to be falling down by next month, the latest, the 8th month. But if there are like kind of groups out there and stuff that want to just find a better kind of better flow within the group, better dynamics, then let me know. Or Aurora put it on the 5D disclosure page, and then you can just book there. I'm keen to do families. It's so brilliant and so revealing, and it's also, I did a lady the other day, and a partner, and I just love doing the relationship numerology with people, because especially people that are very, they're very kind of like well educated and very confident and like well known and stuff like that. And you can't mess with the numbers, like they're having discussions and trying to kind of like argue a point, and the numbers are always just so spot on. Like even when like they try to deny it, and then they'll say somebody's name or something, and then you do the person's name, and it's exactly the number that you're just talking about. Like, it's so cool. So if anybody's keen, Decree 5. The entire 9/11 truth, as well as the UFO conspiracy cover-up, must be revealed immediately, with all other secrets. Otherwise, we will just show up. This will be revealed now to the people, which the people are the true government on this planet. This is the true national security. The people are the ones that make the country secure. If these are not revealed immediately, we, the people, will abolish that illusionary government. And so it is, and so it will be done, decreed and granted. Yay, Laura. That will be awesome. Let me know who it's for. That will be really cool. Decree 6. All that is not aligned in the truth of love is to all be revealed now, as divinely decreed, to end the cycle of fear, pain, and suffering. Decree 7. The dream machine, which has been within the pyramids, in which the Illuminati tapped into back in Atlantis. As the story goes, they soon found psychics who were able to assist them, and they found the pyramids and began misusing the energies by implanting dreams and lower thoughts for their own uses and their own purposes. This has been going on for many millennia. It's like one drop of water in a multi-dimensional universe, an ocean of pure love. As always, pure love. Because of the severe misuse of this machine, the planet requested this be reset to the highest possible thought, which is the mirrors and reflections of love everywhere present. Now, all light workers that have already stepped out of the dream, your responsibility is to assist all your brothers and sisters that are still sleeping in the dream. And so it is on earth as it is in heaven, and so it shall be decreed and granted. Yay, Penny, thank you. They're so much fun. I love doing them. These decrees have been decreed and have been ever present, meaning they have always been here. Now it is up to all of us to put these into our experience, creation in motion. For this is the absolutely exact right moment of your complete freedom, if you so choose. The moment is now when the planet is returned to the people. The meek are inheriting the earth, as it is in the kingdom of heaven, so now it is on earth. Decreed and granted. These decrees have been decreed by the Galactic Federation of Life. Mother of all creation. Father of all creation, the kingdom company of heaven, all of the angels, the Elohim, the elemental kingdom, the entire inner earth family, all of your family of lights, Mother Earth, the ground crew and medical team for first contact, granted and decreed, and so it is, and so it shall be done on earth as it is in heaven. Love is here, love is one, and love is all there is. So there's no place for fear. If you're in fear, you've got to go within. Because there's no fear in heaven, no exceptions. No exceptions. So how y'all feeling out there? It's very quiet. Really cool dragonfly came for a visit. Nice. What color was it? Purple. Lovely. Li Chi Chen. Are you still there, Lu Chi Chen? Lu Chi Chen. Lu Chi. Lu Chi Chen. It's very quiet today. Okay. So, I've been reading a Tao book that came into my space, and it goes, well, the chapter I went to is all about breathing, and I mean I've been really focused on breathing for some moments now, but you can always learn more, and it really goes into the depth of the breathing practice, and not only what it represents, but actually how it functions, and the spiritual kind of the spiritual what do you call it, advantages of really focusing on your breath, and really that four circular wings on either side. Wow, that's pretty cool. I like that. So your breath is super important. Like you're literally breathing in consciousness, and when you really pay attention to that breath and you move the breath through your body, and you start to massage your organs, and kind of like replenish your blood, like really raising your frequency, simply through that focused awareness on your breath, focused conscious intention of just connecting with spirit and connecting with the flow of the heartbeat of the earth and a divine mother. These simple things are so important, and there's I mean there's no place for ignorance anymore, because there's just so many avenues and so many options out there to kind of do whatever you get pinged to kind of follow and go towards. There's just so much out there, so much potential to recognize yourself and expand yourself, and remember yourself, essentially, because love is who we are and fear is what we've learned. And so it's simply a process of unlearning everything you've been taught since the day you were born. That's it. And yeah, I don't know what's happening with Trump. I feel Trump's. I've seen him. He's had a few. He's been doing a few talks and stuff lately, and it's just building up. Like it's no rush. That's the thing. Everybody wants to rush. When's it going to happen? When's it going to come? When you've got moments to really, really. I mean, this journey's been going on for thousands and millions of years, and just like forever. And now we got to this point. So really use these moments to get deep inside yourself, and challenge yourself and test yourself, and just explore yourself. And it's the 7 month is all about going deep. It's going really, really deep, and also developing those, unblocking those barriers that you've got, especially with like family members, and just people that you're close to, or even people that you're generally spending a lot of time around in these moments. because the next month is the 8th, and the 8th is the taking back of the power, and it's yeah, it is, Alice. Breathing is so fundamental. It's so important. And the grounding too, yeah, like just connecting with Earth, and doing your sun gazing and tree meditations and all those things, and simply just walking around barefoot, letting your feet actually connect with the mother. There's so much healing effects from that, along with the breathing. So yeah, it's really important to go within this month, because next month is the 8th, and next month is all the control dramas and this, the taking back of the power, and the abundance is coming. It's all coming. Everything's coming. All of your wildest dreams, beyond your wildest dreams, it all exists already. We're just removing the layers. Our DNA is getting upgraded. Consciousness is being upgraded. Everything is just shifting into those higher frequencies. The elitists and all those retards, they're not in control of the finances anymore. They're not in control of the system anymore. And it's literally, just waiting for one big spark, and it's all going to crumble. And it's right here. It's around the corner, like it's happening, and the more of us that kind of embody love and stand up for truth, and just be creative and test our limits, test our barriers, test our comfort zones, the sooner it all goes down. It's really that simple. The key is inside all of us. We all have the key inside us, and the more of us that open the door inside of us, when you open the door inside of you, you shine the light for others to open their door. And the more of us open our doors, the more hearts connect, the quicker the system falls. We are all connected by the heart, and you just got to have an open heart. Don't go in with preconceived notions about how something's going to go based on how it went yesterday. And if somebody's always been a certain way, you still got to go in with fresh measurements. You still got to go in as you, in love, in joy. And if they're still the same, and then they start something again, then it comes up again. But you've got to go in fresh. Love everywhere present. That's our focus, and it's a choice. It's that simple. It's a choice. The power of a choice. When you make a choice, but here's the key. You got to make a choice with all your heart. There's no fence sitting. There's no half-ass. You're either all in or you're not in. There's no coattails, as Hope says. There's no hanging on the coattails, because we're returning to the river of love. And if you're hanging onto the coattails, you're going to be banging your head on the rocks. You got to stand into your own divinity. You got to stand in your own authenticity. You got to stand behind your own voice. You got to stand behind your own heart. And when you do that, your tribe will follow you. Your tribe will, connect with you. But you've got to take the first step. You've got to step into the unknown. You've got to walk against the norm, against the conformity, and just know that love's got your back. God's got your back. Your soul family's got your back. But you've got to take that step first. And it's got to be with all your heart. Most people are waiting for a cataclysmic event to take them there. They've got to get that humiliation before they find the humility. A lot of people out there that don't have much humility. We looked up on a numerology course earlier. We looked up the word. Lucy, if you're there, help me out what that word was. We looked up this word. Fuck, what was it? But it was the craziest definition. Like the definitions that they give us for the words, it's not even close to what those letters represent. Not even close. It's like security. Security is the opposite of freedom. Security comes from insecurity. So when you're insecure, then you need to find something to feel secure, because you feel lost and you've forgotten who you are. And so you're insecure. And so you seek security. And then you work your fucking ass off to maintain that security. Like, it's retarded. That is key. Start fresh. You're welcome. Love, yes. Love is always the answer. And start fresh, especially This month, Universal 12 is very much about getting back to basics and simplicity, and just being creative in childlike wonder, not thinking that you need to do something, some grand painting, or create some life-changing course or something for people. You simply need to be simply having fun and be enjoy being creative. Even if you're painting a rock, it doesn't matter if you're painting a rock, but the key is to be creative. And the more you work on yourself, the more you raise your vibration, then everything you're doing is bringing heaven to earth. When you are just love, whether you draw a fucking little squirty line on the paper, or you install a new door, or whatever the case is, everything is relative to your consciousness, and that's what the fifth dimension is all about. It's all equal energy exchange. So the more you raise your consciousness, the more abundance is coming to you, because it's all relative. You're not going to give some guy, some narcissist, $10 billion so he can kind of blow it all, or see what he can get out of it. You give it to the people that don't want it, because they only wanted to serve, they wanted to give, they wanted to create communities and crystal schools for the children. So the more work you do on yourself, the more you're going to get blessed. And I continually feel to have to share this with everybody, is that we got to stop looking at abundance as an external thing, and seeing abundance as money, and seeing as abundance as new gadgets. Abundance is deeper levels of peace, deeper levels of joy. That's abundance. I mean, whether you're at a whether you're at a live concert, dancing your ass off, or eating the icing off your little cupcake. It's the same level of joy and harmony. When you're doing your inner work, the external doesn't determine how you feel. The external shouldn't determine your mood. That there's a saying that stuck with me for quite a while, and it's they say you should be happy for no reason, like a child, because if you're happy for a reason, it can get taken away from you. Happiness is a choice, and I often ask people this. I say, do you want to be happy? So everybody that's watching here, ask yourself that question. Do you want to be happy? So 99.9% of people say yes. Yes, of course I want to be happy. Who doesn't want to be happy? Then what does your happiness depend on? Does it depend on the people in your life? If we take the people out of your life that are in your life, are you still happy? Does it depend on the things in your life? If we take all the things out of your life, are you still happy? Does it depend on where you are? We take you and move you to another country, are you still happy? What does your happiness depend on? Ask your heart that. Do your mirror technique, do your meditation, do what you want, and ask your heart, what does your happiness depend on? It's a really simple question that gets answered very reactively. But if you really feel into it, are you happy just as is? Or is your confidence, or your perceived confidence, based on material goods or status? Either you got money, or you got a job, or you've got a family, or you've got a reputation, or whatever the case is. But if everything external was taken away from you, could you still be happy in this moment? Tough question. Simple question. The simple ones that are the toughest. So if you give me a moment, I'm quickly going to fill up my water. Gematria today said July rapture. So, I don't know shit, but there's something big brewing today. The energy is a lot better today with the 11 energy. Yesterday, the 10 energy was very dense. And tomorrow is the 12th. Yeah, it's only going to start. It's going to just keep increasing. like Hope and Aurora often say, there ain't no slowing down to this process. You know, this planet is in full swing, and God's taking your planet back. That is a quote from the Untethered Soul. Oh, really? Which quote? What did I say? That's a good book. I love that book. I read it recently. Taryn's doing a podcast on that book. So if you haven't, yes, Michael Singer. If you haven't got it yet, you can find it on most of the podcast platforms, Untethered Soul. And it's really accurate, and it talks a lot about opening your heart, you know, and what humanity actually do is our lives are created around avoidance, because whatever you resist persists. So whatever you avoid is basically the dam that you're building up around the wall that you call your life, or you call your home. You know, those walls around your home represent the walls around your heart. And so we basically create our lives around avoidance, how to avoid certain situations and feeling certain ways. See yourself looking at yourself. Yes. Yes. Sorry, it's like this looking, it's like saying the same thing backwards almost. Yeah, exactly. See yourself looking at yourself, and always talking to yourself. And yeah, then you stop giving away your power, because every time you're blaming something external, whether it's the government or the shopkeeper or your spouse or your children, you're giving away your power every time you blame people. 369, be divine. Exactly. So yeah. Angels, anything else? Anything? I wanted to play a video of Mom's, but I can't find. I'm in between phones at the moment. Let's see. Let's see if we can find my mic. All right, with the 999s coming up. So, okay, yeah. We'll let Aurora play the introduction to Mother of All Creation. So, there we go. I hope it's loud enough. This thing is. Let me know if you can hear it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Love Has Won.
Just let me know if you can hear.
From the First Contact Ground Crew team, and I'm here to share with you about the mission and the story of Mother and Father of all creation and this planetary ascension. So, if you don't know, we are in a full-blown planetary ascension, and this is basically the evolution of consciousness. So humanity as a collective is evolving from the third dimension to the fifth dimension. And this is something that has been prophesied for thousands of years in the Bible, in the book of Revelations, in the Hopi prophecy, the Celestine prophecy. They all described, different returns, that Jesus would return, the white buffalo calf woman, spider woman, great spirit, that they would return, and that humanity would evolve out of the third dimension, or the matrix, and back into 5D, which is pure love vibrations, where nothing lower exists. And the good news is that Great Spirit has returned to this planet. Great Spirit, White Buffalo, Calf Woman, Prime Source Creator, and God is a woman. She is Prime Source Creator. So Mother of all creation is God, Mother God. She created all of our souls along with Father God. And they began this journey of this ascension process 19 billion years ago. And it started back when creation began. Mom was birthed from love and the unknown. That is her essence. And just as you have birth parents in physical incarnation, and just like your birth mother gave birth to you, mother of all creation gave birth to your soul. It is the micro to the macro, as above, so below. It is the same. Just as we have birth parents, we have soul parents. So mom was the first. She is prime source creator. The feminine give birth. They create life. They are the creative force. The masculine have a different but very equal role. And they are the support and the physical manifestors of the feminine creative power. So mom created father. Even though they told you that Adam created Eve, it was the other way around. So everything that you have ever been told is a lie. Everything you have ever been told was created to keep you from the truth. And the truth is that mom and father first created the 144,000. And then from there, we began creating universes and planets and expanding in creation. And then Jehovah, who was an archangel, decided to separate from all of creation. He wanted to be God without God. And so he separated from the unity consciousness, and he began taking over planets. He began creating dark species and darker realms. And that is how we ended up with the dark and the light. In the beginning, it was all light, it was all love. Until the original separation happened. So he was the original fallen angel, and he began creating separation all over the universes. So mom and father created a plan, and 19 billion years ago, they separated. And father contracted to go down into the dark. So he was contracted to go to all of these lower planets, all of these lower realms, and to master the darkness. And his lower aspect is Lucifer. So, surprise, Lucifer is Father God. So, his contract was to go all the way down to the depths of darkness and to master it and come all the way back up the light spectrum as mom stayed in the light and continued to create. And she actually then created Father of the Multiverse from her heart. So, that was her other love mirror who she continued on creation with. And that is truly the Holy Trinity. So when they talk about the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit is mom. That is source. But they leave the feminine part out because they know that the feminine are the creative power. And so to disempower them and hide us from the truth, they convinced us that God was just a man and there was no feminine aspect. But that is not true. Mom, Father, and Father of the Multiverse are the Trinity. So as Father worked his way up back into the light, as Lucifer is the light bringer, Mom started working her way down into this 3D realm. And so then they both have been coming together to meet in the middle for the final planet, which is Earth. Earth equals heart is the final planet to ascend. Every other planet has ascended. There is no more darkness or separation that exists in all of creation except right here. And they saved this planet for last because it is the heart of the universe and it is mom's heart. And we were also the most heavily manipulated, and we were taken over. And so this was the final planet where father gathered all the darkness onto this planet, and mom came down, and she's been incarnating. This is her 534th lifetime, incarnating, attempting to bring in the Christ consciousness to help along this ascension process. And her biggest lifetime, of course, was Jesus. Jesus was a woman. And they flipped it on us and created all of these belief systems about Jesus and told us that Jesus died on the cross for our sins and we were all forgiven. And none of that was true. Mom came in as Jesus, and she did the same thing she was doing now, bringing higher consciousness and spreading the truth and attempting to get everyone to move into love-based frequencies, and they killed her. And so she's back again for the final lifetime, and finally mother and father are together. And just a short history about how this planet got overtaken was it originally was a 5D consciousness planet. We lived in love vibrations in the civilization of Lemuria. Mom was queen of Lemuria, And Trump was Mom's father in Lemuria, so we love you, Trump. And
Get him, Trump.
Atlantis also was another civilization here. And this was thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. And they lived in a 3D, 4D paradigm. They had not yet evolutionized into 5D frequencies. But the Atlanteans decided to steal crystal technology from Lemuria. And they attempted to use it, which backfired because you cannot use 5D crystal technology if you are not in 5D frequencies, if you're not in the heart. So it backfired and created what we would see today as an atomic bomb. And they blew up this planet, which is why you can see the remnants of Atlantis and Lemuria at the bottom of the ocean. So they blew it up and they put Earth on a crash course into a black hole. They knocked the planet and all of its inhabitants down back into the third dimension. And this third dimension causes amnesia. So in 3D, you forget that you're all royal angels, that we are all God with God. And it creates the beliefs of separation and unworthiness and powerlessness and a whole slew of things, but it all stemmed from the original separation of Jehovah, which was the first fearful thought that we were separate from God. And once we were knocked down into 3D, we were then taken over by the Anunnaki, which gave way to the reptilians, the Illuminati, and then the Cabal. So they all took over the planet. They have all surrendered to the light, by the way, besides the Cabal, which are basically the minions of the reptilians and the Anunnaki. And they are the ones who are the elites, the 1% that run this country and this planet. And once they took over, they realized that they would have to keep us in low vibrations because they have to stay in low vibrations. These beings are separate from creation, so they don't have souls, and they were not created by Mom. So they can only rise to a certain level of frequency. And we, as part of Source, we can rise to any frequency. And they knew this. And they knew that if we were to wake up and start expanding in consciousness, that this planet would ascend in frequency and they would no longer be able to exist. So to keep us in low frequencies, they had to manipulate us. And so they created the ego programmed mind, which is edging God out. And this is basically a cluster of belief systems that are passed down from generation to generation. And so we are constantly kept from the truth. So we live in the flip. Everything you've been taught, everything you've been told is the exact opposite of true reality that the rest of creation exists in. And this was the way to keep us in low frequencies. And everything about the ego is based in fear, because fear is the opposite of love. So everything that we were taught and everything that we believe is based in fear. And that keeps us on the opposite side of the spectrum from love. It keeps us in low frequencies, and then we are easily able to be mind controlled. The ego is the mind, the brain is the organ. And part of this ascension process is getting out of the mind and into the heart, going back into full feeling and getting out of the thought system and out of the left brain that we have been so conditioned to be in. And so this is the final ascension. And once this planet ascends, all of creation returns back to oneness. So this. So guys, I've never been a morning person. That's just not my thing. But since using Ride Sleep, we don't read and write poetry because it's cute. We read and write poetry because we are members of the human race. And the human race is passion, poetry, beauty, romance, love. These are what we stand for.
Seize the day, journey us as rising. Oh, yes.
I do voices. What do you mean you do voices? I do voices.
Yeah. Make a wicked clap a cuckoo.
You must strive to find your own voice. The longer you wait to begin, the less likely you are to find it at all. Seize the day, gather ye rosebuds while ye may. Strive to find your own voice. Seize the day, seize the day, gather ye rosebuds while ye may. Strive to find your own voice. Seize the day. Only in their dreams can men be truly free. It was always thus, will be. Now, my class, you will learn to think for yourselves again. You will learn to savor words and language. No matter what anybody tells you, words and ideas can change the world. We don't read and write poetry because it's cute. We read and write poetry because we are members of the human race, and the human race is filled with passion. Medicine, law, business, engineering, these are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life. Poetry, beauty, romance, love, these are what we stay alive for. Life with the questions of these recurring, the endless trades of the faithless, of cities filled with the foolish. What good amid these? Life. Answer. And you are here. Life exists in identity. Powerful play goes on in you. Your first beat. You must strive to find your own voice. The longer you wait to begin, the less likely you are to find it at all. The road that most men lead lives of quiet desperation. There won't be a time for that. Break out. Conformity. The difficulty in maintaining your own beliefs. You must think of others. For those of you who see the look in your eyes like, I will vote differently. Ask yourselves why you are clapping. We all have a great need for acceptance. But you must trust that your beliefs are unique, your own, even though others may think them odd or unpopular, even though the herd may go, that's bad. Robert Frost said, 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. That has made all the difference. If I asked you about Al, take over, give me this.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about love and peace and harmony, and it all begins within. You want to heal the world, heal yourself, and keep going deeper. You know, when you're faced with awkwardness or uncomfortability, embrace it. Everything is God consciousness, and so everything wants love. You know, so whatever arises, love that, because you know your intention is love, and so love is bringing you all your experiences. You know, but love is truth. Love is not, you know, the way we were taught, you know, kind of everyone just kind of playing along and getting along nicely, you know, and kind of you're avoiding confrontation. That's not what love is. Love is truth, real, whole, pure, and true. Because you know sometimes the only way to get people to change the robotic habits is to trigger them. You know, trigger them out of that habitual patterning. You know, trigger them out of those robotic tendencies where they don't even realize that they're doing what they're doing. until there's a shakeup. They call it the midlife crisis. People, their marriage ends and they've got to restructure their life. But it's because our heart won't organically choose fear. And so our higher selves create experiences for us to grow, to test us, to challenge us, because nothing's personal. Anything you're taking personally, you're an ego. Nothing is personal. Everything is energy, and energy just moves and transforms and changes, and different colors, different shapes, different numbers, different sizes. It just changes constantly, and that's why really being more flexible and being more open-hearted, because, and I call myself out, like when we've been through stuff so repeatedly, whether it's relationships or family drama or whatever it is, when you're around new beings, we often kind of still expect those same experiences or those same kind of outcomes from our new experiences. Like it's very deep programming and habitual kind of like patterning, and I've definitely caught myself out on a few occasions where I feel that somebody's being a certain way, but when I feel into it and I feel into the root of it, it's always you. It's never the other person. No matter what. Say your piece, like the Tao says. Say what you got to say, and then step back. You don't need to defend what other people are challenging your statement. You don't need to change your statement every time to fit in with somebody else's disagreement or somebody else's kind of other version. You say what you got to say, and then you let them say what they got to say. You don't need to respond. You don't need to counteract. You don't need to, it's not a competition. That's the thing about humanity and sharing feelings. It's like you share your feelings, and then people say, no, that's not how it is. But you're sharing your feelings. Your feelings can't lie. So you share your feelings, and then you let go. And how people respond or react to your feelings has got nothing to do with you. That's where a lot of the confusion comes in, is people don't realize you're just there to share your feelings and receive. That triggers people big time when you don't respond, when they say a bunch of stuff, and then you're like, that's nice. Thank you for sharing. You know. Oh man. But that's the thing about the ego, when the trolls and stuff came, you saw the guy that came earlier. Ego, fear can only feed on fear. Fear doesn't feed on love. So if someone comes in here to feed, they're coming in fear. If we're reacting and having arguments, then they win. Then we're in fear and they're feeding off us. And now we're feeding off each other, like a tennis match, like the Celestine prophecy talks about. But if you don't have that resistance, then fear can only throw one or two, three lines at the most. And then they got to go somewhere else and find somewhere else, because when you're in fear, you can't expend energy without stealing energy. So, they can only come at you for so long, then they've got to go somewhere else. But if you're in resistance, if you're not in resistance and you don't have that kind of defense system set up, then there's nothing for them to eat. There's no energy for them to get. It's really important when people come at you, or when people in bad spaces or bad frequencies, just to be the witness and recognize your opportunity to transform that energy field. Because when you're in their space, you add to the collective field. If it's three of you, you're adding 33% to the collective field. So at least make your input and your influence love. And you don't need to change them. You don't need to change the experience. You don't need to, I wish it was better. No, it is the way it is. Everything always is the way it is. So if it is the way it is, and you are there now anyway, just love it, because that's where you are. It's not going to change because you fear, because you want to change it, or you want to make a plan. It ain't going to change. You're there anyway. So just love the moment. Whatever arises, love that. If you just stop answering when they expect an answer, you're gonna try so hard to keep getting answers. It's kind of funny to watch and hum and smile. It is, Kat. It's especially like when the people come on the social media, at a post and but it's always the same. Like they just use different words to come at different angles, but it's all the same stuff. So it doesn't matter what you reply to them, because they don't need a reply. You can't convince them. They need you to say, yes, you're right, you win. And then they say, yes, you learned, thank you. And then they go find another culprit, you know. So just find it amusing and then learn from it, because there's always more to learn from the ego program, when we just be the witness and spirituality is not serious. We're meant to have fun. We're here to have fun. We're here to explore our full potential and explore the creative realms, the physical realms. And yeah, man, it's fascinating and it's exciting, because mom did it all, and now our only job is to embody love, is to be joy, is to be in unity with our brothers and sisters and be in co-creation, and just keep working on yourself always. Keep going deeper and deeper in yourself. Everything else will work out. There's no rush. There's no there's no agenda. There's simply you embodying love and doing what brings you joy, and then connecting with your brothers and sisters and see, where you resonate, what you can work on together, how we can, co-create projects. And there are no silly ideas, if you bounce something off a bunch of people, don't have expectations on it though. If you throw something out there, it could either get 20 people saying yeah, yeah, and then it bounces back and forth until you get a really grand idea, or no one responds, and then you get to take it personally if you had an attachment to it. If you didn't have an attachment, you won't take it personally. If you had an attachment to it and nobody responds, I mean, even people that, and I know Faith's really good at this, like often people like message and then they expect a reply straight away. And I know we've all been through this in our journeys, and then when you don't get a reply, like the mind makes up all these fucking stories. Meanwhile, the other person's just kind of, had a busy day and then this happened and then there's always a good reason. But the mind just makes up so many stories why things don't fucking, why things aren't happening the way they want them to look. Thank you for the rehearse. Sounds like a simple and grand call out, but why get so low in energy? It just is. You can go back to love. You can't change it anyway. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's but that only comes with practicing, because the more you practice self-love, the more you recognize when it's not love. And the more you practice self-love and the more you practice your disciplines and connect with mom, the more you know that love is the only truth. And so when you're in a space and you're not in love, you don't just enable and say, oh, it's one of those days, I'm in one of those moods. No, that's not how it is. You're like, what is this? Show me this fucking parasite, this intruder that's come into my energetic being. I do not consent. Show me this bastard. And only when you take accountability, only when you take full responsibility, can you recognize it and transform it. But as long as you deny it, and as long as you keep pointing fingers, and as long as you don't want to, accept these programs that you've taken on, then they can only get deeper and more uncomfortable. And yet, if you accept it, I mean, it can be an instantaneous process depending on how deep the thorn is, you know. But once you make that choice, the unconsciousness starts to dissipate. It starts to leave your body, because the awareness and the consciousness is raising your frequencies. And when it raises the frequencies, it displaces the low density, because love always wins. Love always replaces a lower thing. Everything always goes to the higher. So yeah, it's just a simple process. Just do your disciplines every day and be in service and have fun, be in joy, connect with nature, sing, dance. It's minus something outside, I feel, but I'm still out there at night, like even go for a smoke, and I'm I put the mom's radio station on. Thank you, Brother Rob. Lots of love. And I dance outside in the horse paddock under the stars and the moon until my feet fall off freezing, But it's so nice to be out under the stars, because every night there's just so much different things going on and different kind of sacred geometry in the skies, because it all represents, the planets all represent the macro to the micro. They're all aspects of ourselves. They're parts of us. They're parts of our manifestation. So when you pay attention to them, and the last thing before I go, something that the numbers brought to my awareness a while back, and I've been really kind of practicing it, and it's brilliant. Staring. Staring is so powerful. I remember as a child they said, "Don't stare; it's rude." But when you look at your eye, you look at a circle. If there's just a circle on a piece of paper, I did this with the group the other day. If you picture just a circle, and then you put a point in the middle of that circle, which represents your eye, you've now got that point of reference that everything goes through. Everything moves through that point of reference. And when you do the gematria on the word eyes, it's the same as the gematria for the word love. So literally, where you're focusing your pupils is the frequency that you are taking in. It's the energy you're taking in. So when you start staring at trees and staring at birds and staring at consciousness and staring at the stars and the moon and the horses and the animals, and the pyramids, when you start staring at the pyramids and the sacred geometry and the numbers, you're taking in those higher frequencies into your retina through your, they say the eye is the window to the soul. You're taking all of that information and energy through your lenses, basically your lenses, your perception, your veil. And when you're focusing on the higher frequencies, it's instantaneous healing and harmonious like transactions that take place. Staring is so powerful. I mean, like people that create vision boards. You create a vision board, you see it all the time. You put a bit of feeling into it, and voila, there it is. Because thoughts which are emotionalized become magnetized. So when you really focus where you're staring, focus on, even the words, reading the divine decrees every day, doing your I am affirmations every day. You're spending more and more moments in that space of connection, in that light. I can see comments, Joe, but I feel they probably bypassed a lot because I didn't see any comment from you. But you're welcome to ask any question. Oh, you got a number question for sure, bro. Joe, I don't know if you're a girl or a boy, but love you. Yeah, for sure, you can ask a number question. So yeah, staring's really powerful. Really, I often, at least an hour a day, staring into the consciousness, staring into the trees. I love staring into trees. There's just so much life there, and there's so much magic. Just walking down the street and you look at the tree, and if you just like pay attention to the tree without any resistance, like there's just such a magical world in there. Each and every tree, it's really special life. Diet Slav Pass. No, I haven't, Joe. I haven't. Diet Slav Pass. Is that the number question? Does she do numbers? 4, 29, 30, 50, 60, 77, 99. Huh. It's funny because her name at the Diet Slav adds up to 99. They speak about the number 9. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. Is it on YouTube or where do you find the link? I'm always happy to check out more stuff on numbers. You can always learn more. Awesome. Thanks, Joe. I'll definitely check it out. I just want to re-heart myself. Diet Love Pass. Diet Love. Alrighty. Sweet. Thanks. I'll definitely check that out. Diet Love. So staring, breathing, drinking water, stretching, yoga, exercise. Super important to move around all of that density in your body. And your body is a collection of all of your lifetimes. The color of your eyes, the size of your arms, like everything is literally a collection of all of your lifetimes. Just like your name is the expression of your soul, all of your lifetimes here, all your footprints. It's all connected. It's all gathered into your being, because there is only the now. So this is your upgraded vessel, and it's really important to look after it. So I feel that's me at 136. I love you all unconditionally. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for spreading Mama's love. And thank you for being a love, my friend. Focus on the light. Focus on the love. Focus on the vision. Don't feed the fear. Don't feed all the bullshit that comes out. It's going to come out anyway. Everything's a finger pointing to the moon, and the moon is love. So everything that comes at you is literally just the river redirecting you the whole time, redirecting you. Nothing happens to you. Everything happens through you. We ask God for the gift of life to create. Then we create our reality. And in the next breath, we say, nah, fuck, I don't want this. I want something else. So you know that everything that comes into your life, you created. And when you show gratitude for what you've created with God, then you get more things to be grateful for. So really focusing on gratitude is a great place to start your day. You're welcome. Love you all. Thank you for coming. Love your mama. Love your mama. How do I end this thing? Love your mama. Keep up the horse riding. I will. Thanks, Petty. Love you. I'm going for my 4th lesson next week. And she's got some machine that does something to your spinal alignment. So that should be nice. Anyway, love you all. Love your mama.